set up, and we just got this in. Plenty of questions around the Cowboys after their loss to the Eagles, and one of the biggest, why was Amari Cooper not on the field with the season on the line on that fourth down play? Yesterday, Jason Garrett was asked whether he could have overruled his assistants and gotten Cooper on the field or called a timeout to get Cooper on the field. And here are the quotes. Again, we just got these in. We certainly could have done that. Amari got a lot of opportunities throughout the ball game. They did a pretty good job on him. We felt good about the guys we had out there, and unfortunately, we're unable to make the play. In terms of the personnel group, that would be Kellen's decision, meaning the offensive coordinator, Kellen Moore. That's a play we like in that situation. We felt like we had good answers to that defense. That's courtesy of 105.3 The Fan in Dallas. So, Dan Orlovsky, you were very critical yesterday of them not having Cooper on the field. Now that you hear that explanation, what do you think?
It still doesn't, it's not satisfactory for me, Greeny. Even if you think that the personnel grouping that you want out there is something other than 4 wide receivers, personnel means how do you want to construct your offense? Is it 2 tight ends? Is it 1 tight end? That's fine. That is Kellen Moore's decision. But Jason Garrett's job is to make sure that his guys are on the field. Worst case scenario, at a bare minimum, I'm calling timeout and I'm going, Kellen, why is Amari Cooper not in the game? And if Kellen Moore wants to have a discussion with me about it in that moment during that timeout, that's fine. There's no way, if I'm Jason Garrett, that ball gets snapped without me figuring out 1, 19 not being on the field, or 2, Amari Cooper would have been on the field. To tell me that it was Kellen Moore's decision for the personnel usage does not change the fact that my job is to make sure Amari Cooper's on the field.
So let me get this straight. Your excuse is you're going to throw your offensive coordinator under the bus as to why Amari Cooper's on the field. That's that's the biggest BS I've ever heard in my whole life. Number one, you traded a first-round pick for Amari Cooper because Amari Cooper is your number 1 wide receiver. There's no way in hell that Amari Cooper shouldn't have been on that field in a critical juncture in the game. But I think even more importantly, if I'm Amari Cooper, if I'm a dog that's out there, there's no way you're going to take me out at this point in the season, Greeny. I mean, we're talking about the NFC East division, and you're taking yourself out of the game for what? Are you tired? Are you not in condition? Why are you not on the field?
With 30 seconds to go in the game. This is not the first quarter, and Acho sent this out the other day. Zach Ertz is playing the game with a broken rib, and we got Cowboys tapping out. And I played with Calvin Johnson, Andre Johnson, Reggie Wayne. Those guys would have rather been dead than not on the field in that moment.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me because offensive line, we can't tap out. Hey, coach, take me out of the game. We got to play all the snaps. But where's the competitive juice, with competitive fire at that point in the season where your team needs you to make a play and you're staying on the sideline?
Not only to be on the field, but those guys, they go, throw me the ball. I don't care what the coverage is. Throw me the ball. Reggie Wayne used to always walk by me in the locker room and said, crucial moments, throw left. Reggie always lined up left. Throw left. I don't care the coverage. Throw left. For him not to be out there, it's a lot on Amari Cooper. But I still say Jason Garrett has 3 timeouts. I'm calling a timeout. Kellen, what are we doing? Why is Amari Cooper not in the football game? That has to be, there's no excuse. There's no excuse for him not to be on the field.
You know, yesterday Dan Orlovsky used an expression that in the biggest moments of football games, it's players, not plays. So for him to say that's a play we like in that situation is all fair and good. I don't like the play myself either, but that's you throw a 50-50 ball with your entire season on the line.
But you got your best receiver on the sideline.
But that's my point, is that forget whether you like the play or not. In that situation, do you agree? It's about the players, not the plays.
The players make the plays in these particular situations. When the game is on the line, we always talk about Tom Brady making a play, Aaron Rodgers making a play, whoever it is making a play, because it's not about the system. It's about guys stepping up in critical moments and making a play for their team.
So at the end of the day, who does it say the most about? Of whom are we the most critical in that situation? Of the head coach, of the offensive coordinator, of the player himself? Who gets that wrong?
I think it's critical of Amari Cooper. For him to be willing to not be on that field in that moment, I think it's critical of Amari Cooper and his competitiveness.
Greeny, I'll be damned if I'm not in the game at that point in time. There's no way that I'm not on the field for that play.
We
don't
brought
care.
D-Wood back for this conversation, and we actually made him sweat. That's very well done. Our Christmas Eve edition of SportsCenter tonight, 6 Eastern, is coming your way with John Butchergrass and Zubin Mehenti. Then we'll look at how high the bar is set for Marshawn Lynch's comeback in Seattle, tracking LeBron's status for tomorrow's showdown with the Clippers, and the pressing questions for Saturday's college football semifinals. All that and more, SportsCenter, 6 Eastern on ESPN and the ESPN app.
You mentioned pressing questions for college football, just days away from Oklahoma and LSU in the Peach Bowl. And they're still unsure at LSU whether their running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire will be able to play, dealing with a hamstring injury. Just moments ago, their co-offensive coordinator Steve Ensminger spoke with the media about this injury.
I do believe we will have Clyde. That's my opinion. Coach O and Jack don't confer with me that much, but I think Clyde will be there. If he's not, we have capable backs. Ty Davis is a bull runner. John Emery can make people miss in space. Chris Curry, I think Chris Curry runs the ball hard. He's very, very secure with the ball. I have no problems with our backs if Clyde's not there, but I truly expect him to be there.
All right, so this is a team with a quarterback that won the Heisman. Laura, SEC Nation, all of that. So you obviously know this team better than anybody. How significant a player is this, and how significant would it be if he's not ready?
Edwards-Helaire is crucial to LSU's offense, and for them to not have him and not have him at 100%, and even if he does play, is going to be an incredible storyline in this game. Here's the thing. Yes, he runs the ball with purpose. He runs the ball incredibly well. He's been a key cog in that realm. But for this LSU offense, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is their third leading receiver. So this guy is so versatile. They use him in the pass game so much. And what I would say, Dan, is he's like a security blanket for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow would point to Edwards-Helaire as a big part of why he was able to win the Heisman and why they've been undefeated up until this point. This is huge. You heard Ensminger there talking about the other running backs. He did end up naming them. They are going to be running back by committee, and two of those guys are true freshmen. One's a redshirt freshman.
And what we've seen with Helaire this year is like in the crucial moments, certainly Burrow's had but in crucial moments, they've relied on him. They've handed that Florida game. It was like, hey, let's hand the ball off a little bit and let's pound the football. That being said, LSU's offense, I mean, in this game, this is why getting the 1 seed was such a big deal, because playing against Ohio State or Clemson without Helaire would have been a bigger story than playing without him against Oklahoma, because of some of Oklahoma's kind of missing of their people. They're still going to be able to throw the football downfield. They still have got the best receiver core in the country with Jefferson and Marshall and Chase. This is still Joe Burrow, the Heisman Trophy winner. So Helaire not being there is part of the story. If he's not there for the national championship game, it's a much bigger deal than when they have to play Oklahoma.
Well, listen, it's a hamstring, right? So we know those things can nag a player. They will have 2.5 weeks between the semifinal game and the championship game. Would you consider they're a 13.5-point favorite. If he's not 100%, would you consider not playing him and making sure he's ready for the last
Greeny,
game?
that's the most disrespectful thing you could ever do if you're the Oklahoma Sooners. I wouldn't consider sitting him. Heck no, because everybody's counting Oklahoma out, and I understand why. But if you're a defensive guy, you just breathe a sigh of relief if Edwards-Helaire is out. Because you have to understand, if he's playing, you're accounting for him. 6.5 yards a rush. You're bringing a safety down and you're saying, I know Joe Burrow won the Heisman, but if we can't stop the run, we can't stop the pass. So now if Edwards-Helaire is not playing, I'm at least going to say I'm doubling the receivers. I'm doubling them.
100% sit him.
You
can't. If he's not 90+%, he's who won the Joe Moore Award, which is the best offensive line in LSU. Right? 2, best receiver core in the country. 3,
he's their third leading receiver.
I understand that, but LSU is the favorite to win the national championship.
But there is
I think my team is good enough to get by that game to go win. I need him for the national championship more than I need him for the semifinal.
There is no national championship if you don't get
Let me ask you a separate question. Laura Rutledge, if he doesn't play, is LSU going to lose?
I don't think I wouldn't go that far.
But you're not sure.
You're not sure. I mean, it causes pause. Here's the other thing too. Edwards-Helaire is a Baton Rouge native. He's waited for this moment his entire life. He's going to want to play if there's any possibility he can get out there.
Well, the players always want to play, but I mean, sometimes discretion. United in the NFL this final weekend. The NFC West will be on the line, primetime Sunday Night Football. Seahawks and Niners in front of the entire 12th man in Seattle. And here's the deal. FPI gives the 49ers a slight advantage at 57% to win the West. The Seahawks won the previous meeting between these two on a last-second field goal in overtime. George Kittle did not play in that game. And so here we are. We have Damien Woody is here. He is Woody Claus today, of course, because here we are. And we have our favorite thing. We're going to smash the helmets. So this is going to be our first one. We got San Francisco. We got Seattle. We have two weapons of choice here. Which one would you like to go with?
I'll take this one.
Okay,
right
take that one there. I'm just going to discard this one. So who do you believe is going to, you will smash the helmet of the team you believe is going to lose out in the NFC West?
Yeah, listen, the NFC West, we know about the big matchup right here, but I'm going to go, listen, watch out over there now. I'm going to smash the Seattle Seahawks. Listen, Russell Wilson has been a magician for the Seattle Seahawks.